In these problems, we are multiplying with decimals, and especially with decimals that are less than 1. And when you multiply two decimals that are less than 1 together, the answer gets really, really small. The reason for that, it should make sense, right? Because you know when you multiply two decimals, you take the number of digits behind the decimal point. So this one's got 2 behind the decimal point, this one's got 3 behind the decimal point. You add them together, and that's how many 5 you'd have in the answer behind the decimal point. So, you know, the smallest piece of this one is in the hundredths. This is 6/100. Here we have 81 thousandths, but once you get to 5 decimal points, you're talking about 100 thousandths, so really small stuff. Well, let me show you how this works. So I'm going to write the whole decimals. Some people write just the number part, which is really all that we care about, but it doesn't matter. 0.6. Okay, so we're going to ignore all the zeros and the decimal points for now. We're just going to focus on the numbers. So this problem really is 6 times 81. Let me do that. 6 times 1 is 6, and 6 times 8, 48. So we get 486 for the answer of what's 6 times 81. And then all we have to do is count up those digits behind the decimal point and make sure we've got that many behind the decimal point here. And we've got 5, right? But there are only 3 numbers here. So how do we put 5 digits behind the decimal place when we don't have 5 numbers? Well, here's 1, 2, 3, and then let's make a space for 4 and a space for 5. This is where the decimal point's going to go. And if you don't have anything to fill those spaces, that's a 0. And then we put that leading 0 on too. So 0.081 times 0.06 is 0.00486, or 486 hundred thousandths. Let's try one more like that. This one's slightly different because we're multiplying 5.5. This one's not less than 1, but we're multiplying it by 0.002. So I think this answer is going to get pretty small too. So let's try that. I'm going to put 5.5 on the top, and the reason is it's got more digits, and that's where I like the one with more digits. And then, so we've got 2 zeros there and another 0. Okay. So now when we multiply, I'm just going to be really in my head multiplying 2 times 55. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. So we get 110. Then we count the digits behind the decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Here's 4. So I've got to put a 0 in there, and then comes the decimal place. So 0.002 times 5.5 is 0.0110. So that is a little bit of work with multiplying decimals less than 1.